Welcome to the Chapter 14 overview, The Expansive Realm of Islam from the Traditions and Encounters book. This overview is really going to concentrate on the key concepts that you have in your key concept packet rather than focusing exclusively on the content in the book. So I want you to keep that in mind because it's important to also read that book to supplement this overview, especially in terms of the early part of Islam, foundational beliefs, and then also the Sunni Shia split. And we'll be going over those things more in class as well. So here we have a map from the United States government of the early spread of Islam. And you can see several different eras here, and I'm not sure how well this is going to come out, but we will give it a try. So during the expansion of Muhammad, that's this here. Okay, so most of the Arabian Peninsula. Additions during the early part of Islam under like Abu Bakr and a couple other successors until the fourth caliph. You've got that in the kind of the salmon pink here. And then I guess the melon color is the additions under the first caliphate, the Umayyad Caliphate, here, here, and over here. And that expansion goes up until 750, so a little more than 100 years. You can really see that expansion. Okay, so big ideas for this time period and chapter. The Islamic states are rising up after the fall of the classical empires. So once the Mediterranean classical empires fall, like the western part of the Roman Empire, not the Byzantine, but the western part of the Roman Empire, and the empires in India, then you have the Islamic states rising. It begins in Arabia. Obviously, you can tell that because this is where Muhammad is. So there's Medina and Mecca, which is going to be central to the next part of the PowerPoint. So that's the origin, and then it spreads both east and west, which you can see from the map. Muslim conquerors first and foremost, Islam originally early on was spread by conquest, but then traders, missionaries, and pilgrims on their Hajj all spread Islam. But as they were traveling around what we're going to learn as called the Dar al-Islam, or the House of Islam, they were also spreading ideas that became a part of the Dar al-Islam, or the community of believers of Islam. Not everyone who was under the Caliph, but everyone who also believed in Islam. They were spreading ideas from Persia in terms of administration and literature, from Greece in terms of philosophy and science, like with the astrolabe, from India in terms of mathematics. And they were spreading all of their knowledge, their cultural practices, like numerals, and then also goods. And eventually, the Dar al-Islam connects people from Spain in the west to India in the east during period 3. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these terms. So during this time period, during this chapter, you're going to need to know about a lot of key concepts. There's a lot that's involved here with Islam. Oops, screwed up that Roman numeral there. So you've got key concepts 3.1, Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3, and 4, which focus on the spread of Islam and trade, which is a big part of the Dar al-Islam. Roman numeral 3.2, Roman numerals 1 and 2, which focus on the formation of the Caliphate, the political organization of Islam. And then Roman numeral 3.3, numbers 1, 2, and 3, which again kind of focus on human environmental interaction, transfer of goods, and the way Islam works with that too. Okay, so here are some of the terms that you're going to want to know, and you can look these terms up as well, but I'll just run through them really quickly. So again, go back, look at your key concept packet and 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3. And then also you can look these words up. I'm going to assume that you kind of know them, but I'll try to give you a little bit of a refresher. So Islam is the religion we are going to be looking at. The people who practice Islam are Muslims, those who submit. And this is really important because a lot of people, a lot of students who are not Muslim are going to try to write about the Islams. The Islams are not the people who practice Islam. Muslims practice Islam. The Ummah is the body of believers or the community. The Ulama, these are Islamic scholars. Oftentimes they'll work at a madrasa, which is a school kind of like a university. A qadi is a judge who knows a lot about Sharia law. Sharia is the law that Muslims follow at this time period, and some Muslims follow today. The Quran is the book of the revelations of Muhammad. Jihad is war, or to fight against ignorance. It's like a holy fight. The caliphate is the both political and religious organization of the Muslim states at this time, both the Abbasid and the Umayyad. The Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, that all Muslims are supposed to try to do once in their life. It's one of the 5 pillars. The Dar al-Islam is the house of Islam. It includes all the believers of Islam, not just those in a caliphate. Whoops. Then we've got, just make this slightly smaller. Nope, not quite small enough. There we go. Last but not least, check. Sock is a check, and that was one of the innovations we're going to get into in a little bit. So just to reinforce this idea of the Dar al-Islam, by 1450, Islam had spread to all of these areas. Now, and I guess we could say it spread over there too, across that, into India, even into China, through Central Asia. I guess I'm not going to cover all of China because, I mean, obviously not everybody there was Muslim. You've also got people practicing Islam in the Swahili city-states, along trade ports, and then even spreading into Southeast Asia and those islands that participate in the Indian Ocean Basin trade. Okay, so now that we've got the basics out of the way, we're going to move on in this next section to the foundational beliefs of Islam.